Carbs aren't the enemy. The odds are you're just doing them wrong. And I know that because for years I did them wrong too. This video is going to have 4 tips for handling carbs and making sure the carbohydrates in your life aren't handling you. Tip number 1 is a simple one because it involves timing. It's best to have them at lunch. Not breakfast, you need protein then, and definitely not the evening right before you go to bed. No, if you have a carb at lunch, you have a fighting chance of working it off in the afternoon. And that's the name of the game. Keep moving after carbs. Easier to do when you do them at lunch. Because who wants to have a big dinner and then you're not going to burn them off at 10 o'clock at night. You're going to fall straight into bed and they're just going to lie there in your stomach like a brick. Tips 2, 3, and 4 all involve the same basic concept. Carbs break down quickly in the system, spike blood sugar and insulin, and then cause you to crash. You want to avoid these insulin spikes if you're interested in losing weight or keeping weight off. That's just kind of the bottom line. And all of the last 3 tips kind of deal with that. The second tip is no naked carbs. This can be tricky because a lot of times we eat carbs as snacks and we'll grab an apple or we'll grab if we're not feeling quite so virtuous, a bag of tortilla chips. As it turns out though, you need to add a little protein and a little fat to keep those carbs from absorbing too fast. It sounds counterintuitive to eat more, but I'll turn this over to McKenna Baum, who's a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and let her explain it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm McKenna Baum. I'm a registered dietitian working here at Miraval, Arizona. And we're going to talk about carbs and balancing them in a way where we don't have to be so fearful of carbohydrates. So one of the things that I teach and that we see pretty solidly in the research is if we pair carbohydrates with some of our other nutrients, it can help to prevent that blood sugar spike and crash. So primarily we want to pair our carbs with a protein, a healthy fat, and a fiber source. And essentially what these things do is they, in a very physical way, they slow the absorption of those carbohydrates, right? Preventing that spike and that crash. You can even take that a step further and eat, let's say, the protein and the fiber at the beginning of the meal and the carbs at the end of the meal. And that seems to be even better at stabilizing that blood sugar.
Oh, so that's interesting. So you can kind of lay down a base of protein before you put the carbs on top of it.
Yeah. Yep, having them all on one plate is effective as it is, but yeah, you can take it that extra step and that helps too.
Well, what's some good combinations of fat and protein that you can add to carbs?
Yeah,
some easy combos.
Yeah, so for example, if you were going for a snack, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of us will just go for the crackers or the chips, but pairing that with something as simple as hummus, right? I get protein from the chickpeas, there's some oil in it. There's actually some fiber from those chickpeas too. Doing that with the carbs would help to balance it. Or having like vegetables as that fiber source, the veggies and hummus, that in itself would be a really good sort of balance.
What about like an apple with peanut butter, something like that?
Totally, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, or like Greek yogurt and fruit.
Because snacks seem to be where a lot of people just go pure carb.
Yeah.
So add a little fat or protein and it will slow the absorption.
Yeah, and especially for fruit, a lot of people seem to be sensitive to just having like that apple by itself, so doing something totally like the nut butter or just some nuts or yogurt with it, yeah, is helpful.
Okay, that's a great tip. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Isn't that great? You now have medical permission to eat more guacamole with your tortilla chips. You can thank me later. Tip number 3 is one that I've already talked about in a video called Carbs Without Consequences. I've linked it in the comments down below. So if you want to see this idea played out in more detail with me actually illustrating it step by step, go to that video. But this is basically, oh, that is attacking from the rear. This is basically the idea that you can have simple carbs like pasta, potatoes, bread, and rice. I mean, who doesn't like at least one of those? To be honest, who doesn't like all 4 of those? But you can really mitigate the effect that they have on your blood sugar by doing this simple trick of cooking, then cooling. Here's the basics. Say you're going to have rice in a stir fry. Cook the entire box of rice. Then go ahead and divvy it up if you want to in portion sizes of baggies. I like to do that anyhow. Any of the rice that you're going to eat in the first 3 days, you can put in the fridge. Anything that's going to be longer than 3 days, go ahead and freeze it. It won't affect the taste at all. And then you let it cool for between 12 and 24 hours. When you're ready to eat the rice, you simply pull it out and put it in the stir fry or the sauce or whatever you're serving. This little trick will really limit the impact that the carbs have on your blood sugar. It turns a very simple carb like rice, or like I said, potatoes, bread, pasta in the same category, into acting more like a complex carb in your body. It simply breaks down slower. I love this. I love this hack. I use it all the time. And the fourth one is one that I guarantee you've already heard a lot about: apple cider vinegar. I mean, apple cider vinegar is all over the internet. It's all over everything. I mean, it's been given, apparently, it can do everything but turn straw into gold and valet park your car. But it really does seem to, again, kind of mitigate or lessen the effect that carbs have on your blood sugar. All you have to do is take a spoonful of apple cider vinegar. Now make sure you get real apple cider vinegar, and it will say on the label "with the mother." The mother is the mixture of gut-friendly bacteria in the vinegar that works the magic, that is ACV. So make sure you get it with the mother, tablespoon in a glass of water, drink it before a meal. Full transparency here. I do not drink a tablespoon of vinegar before every meal, but I do it before the carb heavy meals. If I know I'm going to be having a real carborama, I will take a nice big swig of the ACV beforehand. As a matter of fact, I mix it up in advance, keep it in the fridge so I can just chug it at my will. And I also carry a bottle in my car. I know that sounds a little strange, but you never know when you're going to hit like a fast food restaurant or something, with like pizza or a hamburger bun. And you might need a little ACV to kind of help you through that carb rush. So it's an easy thing to transport and drink. I would describe the taste of apple cider vinegar and water as you get used to it. If you really can't stand it, there is another way to get the vinegar in your stomach before a meal, and that's simply to make a vinaigrette with it. And I do one that is super simple, a complete no-brainer of a recipe, which is my favorite kind of recipe. And all it is you combine equal parts of the apple cider vinegar with olive oil. Then you add equal parts of a stone-ground dark mustard with honey. Mix it all up, and you've got a honey mustard vinaigrette. It's really delicious. And if you have that on a salad, you still get the effect of the apple cider vinegar, and it tastes much better. If it's a little too sweet or a little too acidic, just keep adjusting with the opposite kind, and you'll get a perfect salad dressing in the end. It's really good. So that's it. 4 tips to make carbs your bitch. You can manage those carbs with these tips. You can ride hard on them. Put them away wet. So that's tip number 3. And we've got 9 more rolling down the pike, so stay tuned to keeping it off. Thanks.